Early June 1960. A quiet night by a Finnish lake, a tent pitched by 4 teenagers, laughter only hours earlier. By morning, 3 of them dead, the 4th gravely injured. The tent had been slashed, the scene brutal, the only survivor left with shattered memories. This is the Lake Bodom murders, a case that has haunted Finland and true crime fans for over 60 years. Tonight we'll dig into every known lead, interview statements, forensic findings, and theories behind one of Europe's most infamous unsolved crimes. On the evening of June 4, 1960, 4 young friends travelled to a remote lakeside site at Lake Bodom in Espoo, Finland. The group, 15-year-olds Maila Irmeli Björklund and Anja Tuulikki-Maki, and 18-year-old Seppo Antero Boisman and Niels Wilhelm Gustafsson. They set up their tent close to the water's edge, expecting a quiet night under the stars. But sometime between about 4 a.m. and 6 a.m., the horror began. Gustafsson later described seeing a figure in dark clothes, perhaps with red glowing eyes, though his recollection was fragmented. A birdwatcher later found the scene. The tent collapsed, 3 friends dead, the 4th in severe condition. Everything else changed in that moment. At about 6 a.m., a passing birdwatcher spotted the collapsed tent and a man walking away from the area. The police arrived later that morning. Investigators found the tent slashed from the outside, remarkably, not by the entrance. The implication: the attacker fired while the victims slept inside. Maila's body lay partly on top of the tent, undressed from the waist down, with skull fractures and repeated stab wounds. Anja and Seppo also suffered blunt force trauma and stabbing. Gustafsson, found outside the tent, had a fractured jaw, broken cheekbones and concussion. Even more puzzling, Gustafsson's shoes were found hidden 500 meters from the tent, implying movement, staging or panic. The murder weapons, knife and blunt instrument, were never recovered. The crime scene was compromised from the start. Police and civilians walked through before it was secured. Over the years, Gustafsson gave interviews. He described a blurry figure and vague recollection of the attack. A birdwatcher saw a blonde man leaving the scene shortly after sunrise. That sighting remains one of the few plausible leads. In court records of his 2005 trial, Gustafsson was quoted as saying after his arrest, "What's done is done." Yet the context was ambiguous. These interviews, and the survivor's trauma, shaped the investigation and public perception. But they did not deliver clarity. Let's examine key suspects and the theories attached. Carl Valdemar Gillström, a kiosk owner near Oita, reportedly hostile toward campers. Locals claim he once confessed to the murders while drunk. He drowned himself in 1969. No formal charges. Hans Assman, a German-born resident of Finland, seen entering a hospital in Helsinki with blood on clothes on June 6, 1960. He later emigrated. Police ultimately ruled him out due to alibi. Niels Gustafsson, the survivor. In 2004, he was arrested after renewed forensic review suggesting victims' blood was on his shoes, but he was acquitted in 2005 because evidence was inconclusive. Theories include sadry, jealous rage, Gustafsson as perpetrator, stranger or random attack, an unknown assailant from outside, serial offender, linking similar Scandinavian cases from the era, missecured crime scene contamination inhibited the ability to charge anyone, despite decades of investigation, no conviction, no confirmed motive, no weapon recovered. Forensic breakthroughs arrived decades too late. In 2004-05, Finnish investigators retested Gustafsson's shoes and found victims' blood, but Gustafsson's blood was absent. Prosecutors argued this implied his guilt. Defense argued his injuries were so severe he couldn't have carried out the attacks. Medical records supported this, complicating matters. The crime scene was contaminated. Drifting footprints, missing shoes, scattered items. Modern DNA methods now outpace what remained of the evidence. Some forensic experts suggest the scenario: a single assailant, attacking through the tent, then fleeing without a trace. Others argue multiple perpetrators given the nature and scale of the violence. No forensic consensus yet. The Lake Bodom murders transcended crime and entered culture. The band Children of Bodom took their name from the lake. In 2016, the film Bodom dramatized the case for global audiences. An archaeological dig by university students in 2023 looked not for evidence of murder, but for traces of decades of visitors and dark tourism at the site. The case also shaped Finnish crime scene protocol, highlighting how early errors can compromise decades of investigation. Yet for families of Mila, Anya and Seppo, the wound remains open, a life lost without justice. For the public, the lake remains a chilling reminder of innocence betrayed. 4 young friends, a tent in the forest, a night of terror and unanswered wounds. The Lake Bodom murders endure as one of the most chilling mysteries in Finland, or anywhere. Will the truth ever come? Maybe. For now, the forest keeps its secrets. If you found this story compelling, hit subscribe for more deep dives into unsolved crimes. And tell us in the comments, which theory do you believe? Stranger attack, survivor's guilt, or something darker?